Baker Mayfield shut down his season, or did the Browns shut down their season with Baker Mayfield? Why now? What's changed from last week to this week? You weren't going to play in the playoffs. You weren't playoff eligible last week. You were already injured, been injured most of the season, and now it's surgery time. Now you're going to have it? Why not play in the season finale? I'm trying to figure out what is the motivation here. I mentioned that Baker has played through pain. He reminds us he's played through pain. Seems to try to leverage that as if to say, give me a hall pass this entire season. That's fine if the Browns, if that's what they want to do. I'm just trying to figure out who's calling the shots here. Because I would have shut down Baker Mayfield a while ago. But he wanted to play. Now he doesn't want to play. Now you want to have surgery. You wanted to play against the Steelers. You don't want to play against the Ravens. Okay. I don't know. I shouldn't say the Ravens. Who do the Browns play? It's Roethlisberger against the Ravens. But I don't know whose call it was or is, but it seems like it's Baker Mayfield's. Yeah, Paulie.
Bengals at Browns.
Bengals at Browns. Okay. I knew it was in the division, or at least I thought it was. But don't you want to play in that game too? I'm figuring that maybe you don't want to play in that game. Because you got Joe Burrow on the other side. You don't want to look bad here.
I think you just nailed it. I didn't realize it until who they're playing.
Yeah.
Cross-state rival. You're going to get housed.
Well, who knows? Because I don't know. You know, the Bengals have already won their division. I don't know what the motivation is or the seeding. But, yeah, I'm just wondering this. This still fascinates me far more than it should about Baker Mayfield and his future. You got one more year in his contract. I think it's $18 million. Okay. That's a good price for a good quarterback. But I don't know if it's weird. We like you at this price, but if you were more, we might not like you. Because the Bears had to do this with Mitchell Trubisky, who, by the way, has better numbers career-wise than Baker Mayfield, or at least equal. And they cut him loose. They had to go, okay, is he our future? No, he's not. Is Baker Mayfield the Browns' future? And that's the big question that is sort of lingering there. I can go back to what he's done before, and he has put up impressive numbers. You know, they could have beat the Kansas City Chiefs. They had their chance. There's star power there. There's just not star numbers there. And that's the big issue that I have with this. Does he think he's better than what he is? Do the Browns think he's better than what he is? The media's expectations here. Remember, it was get rid of Odell Beckham. Hey, now we're going to solve all of this. I didn't think it was a good mixed marriage to begin with Baker and Odell, because Odell wanted to prove to everybody that he's still an elite wide receiver. And he's doing pretty well in L.A. Now you're going to say to Baker Mayfield, hey, you got to feed me the ball. I mean, I got to prove all these people wrong, including the New York Giants. Well, Baker acquiesced to him, and I understand that. And Odell can be an elite wide receiver, but it just felt like the game plan, play calling was different. And you should have been a run-first team. Offensive line was depleted. You lose Odell. They weren't on the same page. Defensively, you have Myles Garrett. You have a couple of really good, impactful defensive players. But I think they're kind of stuck in neutral right now. We know the Bengals are ascending. Pittsburgh's going to regroup. I mean, Pittsburgh and Cleveland are similar in my opinion. Like, you have a good running back, you got a really good defensive player, you have some skilled position players, but you have questions at the quarterbacking position. Well, Ben Roethlisberger is at the end of his career. Baker's at the beginning of his career. But his career will hinge on next season. If he plays well, he'll probably get that big contract. If he doesn't, he might be Mitchell Trubisky, where he goes someplace else, and then he waits a year or two. Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota, Ryan Tannehill had to do that after he left the Dolphins. This is sort of what happens. You're either elite, getting the contract extension, or you're let go and you become a backup quarterback. There's no middle ground here, because the way football is structured, the way these agents have gone after, I'm the next guy up after that rookie contract, instead of saying, hey, give me $26 million, $28 million. But agents aren't going to do that. But if you did that and became a little more team friendly, then maybe you keep Baker Mayfield at that price. But I always find that fascinating. Like, at what point do you go, $29 million? No, we can't go. How about 28? Okay, 28. All right, might be able to make that work. It's just you're going to be paying 45. And Baker Mayfield is not worth 45. Yeah, Paul.
One thing that's a little saucy, the Steelers right now pick 17th in the NFL draft. Cleveland's at 13. They weren't expecting to be in the top 15 this year. Mac Jones, wasn't he the 15th pick last year?
Yeah.
There are a few quarterbacks that may not be floating around the top 10 that might be available.
Yeah, I don't know. What I would do is, and I know that they're in the market for, or at least want to be in the market for Deshaun Watson. I know that. The question is, everybody is sort of kind of figuring out, when are these, civil lawsuits settled? Are there any criminal charges? Is there anything left with Deshaun Watson that they're trying to figure out? Because it almost happened with Miami. They did tell him or his agent, look, settle these and we'll make the trade. Well, not all the women were willing to settle. Cleveland's going to be interesting, and Cleveland would be a great destination. I look at Cleveland the way I did the Boston Red Sox back in 2003. Like, it's there. It's there, and they're ready to explode. And I remember Curt Schilling talking about he could have gone elsewhere, but he wanted to be part of something that they would never forget him, and that is winning a World Series there. And that could be one of those Russell Wilson-type situations, maybe Aaron Rodgers situation, where you go in, and all of a sudden, now you got to be sold on management, your coach, your owner. But, man, you get one title in Cleveland, they build statues. Yes, Eden.
Kind of getting the sense that there's a franchise tag on the horizon for Baker Mayfield.
Could be.
Which sounds like actually a disaster, that you would then be 3 years into not really knowing if this is the guy.
I know. And if you're 3 years in and you don't know, then you do know.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. It's tricky. But that does fascinate me. And I said this a couple of weeks ago, just shut him down. I don't think that they were any better with him with a torn labrum on his non-throwing shoulder and a healthy Case Keenum. Like, I really don't. If you're running the offense, although after watching the Manning cast, I have great questions about some of the play calling there. But to me, Case Keenum, Baker Mayfield, a banged-up Baker Mayfield. And, I still go back to what was the philosophy against the Steelers? He got sacked 9 times. Nick Chubb is watching the first half. And then you're going, okay, I don't understand play calling here, philosophy. I got one guy on T.J. Watt. He was in the backfield as much as Nick Chubb was. He was in the backfield more than Nick Chubb was. Yes.
But see, I think that's the thing, though. How many of those 9 sacks are on Baker Mayfield? Because he's holding on to the ball too long.
Yeah, it could be.
He's got guys wide open right in front of him, and he's not throwing it, and he's taking a sack, and then it looks bad for his line.